سلام قولا من رب الرحیم.
Recovering from any addiction could be really considered as the hardest battle or struggle one can have in their whole entire life. سلام عرض میکنم بینندگان عزیز، خوش اومدین به برنامه Path to Recovery که به زودی اسمش رو خواهیم کرد Pathway to Recovery. من سیامک هستم، یکی از اجرا کنندگان این برنامه. این برنامه حدود 8-9 ماه پیش با پیشنهاد جناب دانشور شروع کردیم برای اون دسته از هموطنانی که اینجا به دنیا آمدن یا خیلی بچه بودن اینجا آمدن و زبان فارسیشون چندان خوب نیست که به زبان شیرین انگلیسی برنامه هم داشته باشیم. برنامه فارسی زبان ما پنجشنبه صبح و شنبه شب‌ها ما زبان انگلیسی برنامه داریم و پس با اجازهتون شروع میکنیم به زبان انگلیسی و یه سورپرایز خیلی خوبی هم داریم. یکی از دوستان قدیمی من که بیش از 1.5 سال که پاکن و لطف کردن امروز خیلی لیت نوریز دیر وقت بشه، گفتم میای؟ گفت شور واینا و اومدن. بچه هستن که فی‌الوداع خیلی کارا رو تو زندگیشون کردن. اینم یکی از اون کارهایی بود که فی‌الوداع انجام دادن، اومدن اینجا که پیام بهبودی به شما بدن. Hi my friend Nima Jan.
Hello.
Hello, how you doing, buddy?
Good, thank you.
Good. You know you understand Farsi somewhat, understand pretty good and speak somewhat, but this is English show. I bet you're much more comfortable.
Yes.
Were you born here or you just were a little kid when you came here?
I was born in London.
Oh, London.
I came here when I was 7.
Oh, so you say water?
Water.
Water? Oh, you pronounce it better. Yeah. So good. So you're British. You're like a bloody cold-blooded and stuff. You are. You know, I know you as a cold-blooded Nemo.
Don't let them know that.
Well, we have to be honest. Welcome to the show, Nemo
Thank
Chan.
you.
You know I love you very much.
Thank you. Love you too.
Thanks. And I said it in Farsi. I'm sure you understood that. I just called you on the way here. Nima Jan, do you want to go? You go, sure. Wow. I was surprised, actually. I was shocked. I hold myself back, but I wanted to scream.
Anything I could do to, just show that recovery is possible, always willing to do.
Definitely. If you recover, definitely recovery is possible, Nima Jan.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I know that for sure. I remember when you came, man, you gave me hell. Can I be honest?
Yes, it is true.
This man gave me hell when he came to our facility about over a year and a half ago, a year and 8-9 months ago. And it was really hard dealing with the amount of disease, amount of change you from being actually a decent, beautiful human being that you are today to the evil that you came into our facility as. Yeah? It was.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
All right. Well, I'm going to do my best to do less of talking because I believe in you're very good in articulating your program, articulating the message and the pain, disease, all that. You do that very well. You come sometimes speak to our kids and as one of the good alumni. And I know you are very active at in your own recovery and recovery of many. You go to 12-step meetings a lot. You have a sponsor. You have a sponsee. So I'm not going to butt in so much. Oops, that's a bad one. I'm not going to come in so much and interfere. Thank you. But I'll just throw some things and then you can elaborate if you would. I want to go back to, if you could, to the get-go. How did it all begin? As far as your household that you were grown up in and so on. If you can just tell us some of that and then take us into the stage that you started numbing yourself and some of the feelings about it and all that. I'll be more of a listener today.
Okay. Well, the first memory I can remember is when I was in London. I must have been maybe 4 or 5 years old, and my home was always filled with screaming. And first, I just want to be clear and say one thing. I don't know what made me an addict. I really don't know what caused it. I'm not going to tell you what my experience was. And there was just always screaming. My mother and my father were always yelling at each other. And I remember as a child, I was really scared maybe even one of them would just leave or get into a fight and get injured. And then when I came to America, I was about 7 years old, and I talked funny because I was from England, and people didn't really understand me. And the fighting between my parents continued for many more years. And my first memory of talking about drug use with my friends, I was in 8th grade. We were getting ready to go on summer vacation, and we all made a promise that we were not going to ever do drugs. And 2 months later, we all got high together. And I don't know how it happened. Someone just asked, and I just said yes. I never liked the way I felt. Normally, I was always a little uncomfortable, unsure of myself, didn't really have any self-esteem. I was just awkward, and it sounded like a good idea. So I got high with them, and it just escalated from there. It started with marijuana. Within maybe 6 months, I got arrested. My mom found out. It really broke her heart. I promised myself I would definitely stop and never do drugs again. She took all my, things away, all my drug supplies, and I was smoking pot the next day. Just because, again, someone just asked me, and I said it sounded like a good idea. It was better than the way I felt every day. I didn't really care what the consequences were. And honestly, at that point, I kind of liked the consequences. I was happy to go to school and tell my friends I got arrested, and it's
made you feel important.
Yeah. I'm a tough guy, and I got arrested, and that's cool. And excuse me, and I didn't see anything wrong with that. Maybe within a couple months from there, it escalated to meth use, and there was no reason. I was just curious, and other people were doing it, so I started doing meth. And by the time I was a senior in high school, I was just doing a lot of methamphetamine, smoking a lot of pot, popping a lot of pills, and that continued for a long time.
For a long time.
14 years.
14
altogether.
years. Yeah. Wow. All right. Very good. Very good. Now, tell us a little bit about. That was very good about the progression of the disease and the resistance about it. By the way, why did you resist? Why you said you're not going to be like that? You're not going to continue. You're not going to be a drug addict, alcoholic.
I got arrested, and my mom was upset, and
Did it? This is what I thought it may be. You may have seen some scenes at home that caused by alcoholism. Your father's drinking, and you said probably I don't want to do that. I don't want to be
without
like
a doubt, I never wanted to end up like my father.
Yeah.
Never, absolutely.
Very good point, and that I thought about that because many of you kids that you are being brought up in an alcoholic or addicted family, you may not like a sight of alcohol or drugs, and then here we go. You grow up because of all the problem, and as you mentioned, the scenes that you witnessed, mom and dad, the Allen going at each other, all that. That's not a very desirable scene for a kid. They really wouldn't appreciate that. They wouldn't like. In fact, they get scared, and they may even get petrified, terrified, and then the same drugs and alcohol that they didn't like at all, they knew that that was the cause of it all, can become their friend, like became your friend.
Very much so.
Yeah. Wow. Pretty sad. And I hope that you get this message. And if you have a parent drinking, you do whatever you need to do to get help for the impact of that on you. Because if you don't, you're gonna one day do exactly what they did and worse. You did much worse thing than your father.
Excuse me. Absolutely. I didn't even actually get into the really bad parts. That was really just the beginning. By the time I was 19, I fell in love with a girl, and we promised we wouldn't do drugs anymore.
Love.
I wanted to prove to myself I wasn't like my dad. I wasn't an alcoholic. I wasn't a drug addict. So we just stopped, and I stayed stopped for a while. I was busy. I went to work, and I was working a lot. I was a full-time student, and I actually didn't do drugs for 2 years, and I thought I was really, honestly, untouchable. And then, just having a drink with my friends sounded like a good idea again.
Wow.
And drink turned into doing, OxyContin, which later became my big-time drug of choice.
Now you're going to downers, from upper you're downer.
Oh no, I still did the meth and the cocaine.
Oh, you did that too.
It all sounds like a good idea. I didn't even really like meth and cocaine. It was just it never sounded like a bad idea
At the time, yeah.
And towards the end, I was taking so many different things. I didn't really enjoy getting high anymore, but it was the only thing that I was good at. I had lost my job, and I was working for a big corporation at the time, and I was well paid, honestly.
Wow.
And I didn't even deserve the money
You
they
were
were giving
24,
me.
25?
Yes.
It was a very good point you touched on it. If you don't mind, I want to elaborate on it. Nimajan, you said it was 2 years that I went on without doing any drugs. I was feeling good, busy, working in the corporates, making good money, girlfriend, love, which really can pretty much fill the gap, can make you feel okay, fit underneath your skin to some degree for so long, and carry you on for 2 years. And then you said, what's wrong with just having a drink here and there? Here I haven't had any drink, any alcohol, drugs, anything for 2 years, complete abstinence. I'm powerful. I'm different than those guys that they have to do it. See, here I am.
Absolutely.
I didn't do it for 2 years. That means I don't have the problem they have. I don't have what they call disease of addiction. I can do and not. Choose do and choose not to.
Absolutely.
And you went back to have just a couple drinks, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And how many days or weeks it took to having just a couple drinks?
To
2
go
weeks.
back to drug use?
Yeah.
I think it was that night, honestly.
Are you serious? There you go. Thank you. And then not just doing every so often drug, you just took and ran with it again.
Yes.
What that means, folks, the disease addiction that we always talk about it is uncurable. And I know Nimajan can articulate it very well too. Uncurable illness that doesn't go away. Yes, you may be able not to feed it, not to give it its food, drugs, alcohol, whatever else, and even if you're in jail or get a good job or a relationship, anything that sort of help you stay away from it. But if you go back, try to mess with it, you don't just go back, try to mess with it. It will take over. It is there already. It gets livelihood, and next thing you know, it's doing you and messing with you. It takes control. It took control on you, and this time you went to harder drugs, OxyContin, and then heroin.
Yes.
There you go. And that's another definition of the disease, progressive in nature. Before he was doing meth, alcohol, cocaine, and marijuana, things like that. Now that he relapsed after 2 years, he started doing OxyContin and then heroin, and also meth and coke and all that.
I never stopped doing any one particular drug. I just added to the list.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're absolutely right about, we pick up where we left off, or worse. When the first time I quit when I was 19, I was maybe taking about 6, 7 painkillers a day. I think at one point it got up to 12, which is a lot.
That is a lot.
After that few-year gap, when I picked back up, within, I think, 5 or 6 days, I was taking about 30 a day.
Oh my God, what was it?
Norco.
Norco, oh, that's a bad one too.
Well, and I mean, I progressed from there. Norco became Percocet.
And then Oxy.
And then OxyContin 80 milligram. And
Wow.
I was taking, can I say?
Yeah, sure.
Towards the end, and I don't recommend this to anyone, I still do have kidney damage and I do have medical problems and I have to go see the doctor every so often to make sure I'm okay. But I was taking 30 80 milligram oxys a day, 10 30 milligram roxycodons a day. On top of that, alcohol, cocaine, marijuana. And that was during the daytime. To sleep, I had things like Ativan,
Oh my
Soma, Xanax, Ambien, and that wasn't even to get high. That was just to, be able to just calm down and go
get
to
well.
sleep.
Get well, we call it. Yeah, be
Or
able to sleep.
in case I didn't have drugs in the morning, I had those things too.
To get you well, so you can go to the connection, go to pharmacy, go wherever,
Absolutely.
and get your OxyContin and heroin, whatever. Wow. And you did come with a big list to our facility. I remember you were one of the difficult detoxes we had. There were many nights that you couldn't sleep.
36 of them. 36 nights.
Oh, really? You remember, huh?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Wow. Let's see. Let's take you to how you got into treatment. What happened?
I wasn't working anymore. I didn't have any friends left. I didn't speak to my mom or any of my family members. I was living with an ex-girlfriend that I absolutely hated. She just felt sorry for me, so she let me live with her. And that, as a man, that really hurt.
And she wasn't even in a relationship with you, just like the new
No,
place?
she was dating someone else.
Oh, my God.
And I was just sleeping on the couch just because she felt sorry for me. And I continued to actually use another year in that kind of just demoralizing state, hating myself every day. Every day I just really wished I would wake up. I wouldn't wake up, that I would die in my drug use. I didn't, I wasn't man enough to kill myself, thank God. But that's what I really wanted. And one day I got tired. I had to go get, pardon me, I had to go and get drugs that morning. I just didn't care anymore.
You couldn't.
I couldn't even.
It's that you couldn't force yourself to go get. You said
I wanted to die so badly at that point. I just gave up and said, if I'm gonna detox right now, if I'm gonna die, end up in the hospital, I don't care.
Wow. And what happened? You called mom?
I called my mom.
Your mom.
I called my mom, just like any good gangster. I called my mom, and
what did you say?
I told her that I didn't want to get high anymore, and she had been on her own recovery for about 9 months at that point in her own 12-step program, and she was very prepared. And she said, "Come over now," because you know what that's like. If you take a nap for 30 minutes, things change.
Yes.
So she
exactly.
seized the moment, and I went over there without drugs. And 7 days later, I ended up in your facility. One of her friends had told her about it. I didn't think it would work. I thought it was a waste of money.
Waste of time.
Oh, absolutely waste of time. I could do it on my own. I couldn't do it on my own in the past. I had tried a few times. I did an outpatient at a hospital that I won't mention the name of, and I did 3 or 4 sober livings, and it never worked, so I thought this would be the same. This would just be an expensive version.
Yeah.
Because residential treatment.
Yeah, because the treatment, yeah. And then, what during the 7 days you tapered down, mom helped you, gave you some medication?
Yes, I had Xanax just to stop me from
going through withdrawals.
Really kicking hard. I had some Suboxone.
Yeah,
and I'll be honest, I got high still.
You still got a couple
Yeah,
of
just to be honest with everyone here and you, I had my friends bring me drugs in the middle of the night. This was at my grandparents' house.
Wow.
Where my mom was living. They had passed away. And this was a house I went to in my childhood that I respected, and I was getting high in the bathroom while my mom was trying to help me get to treatment. I was doing heroin there, which I promised myself I'd never do. And
never do again.
Honestly, I was getting high most of the time I was there.
Yeah, but whenever you didn't have it, you used to Xanax
or the Suboxone.
Suboxone. Now, how did you at the 7th day make yourself accepted to go in and treatment after 7 days?
Those 7 days I was getting high, I didn't want to get high. It had been maybe 6 months to a year. I didn't want to get high, but I was a slave to my addiction. Many days in a row, 20, 30, 100 days in a row, I would wake up and say, today I'm not getting high. And I would end up at the dope man's house with drugs ready to go. And I wouldn't even drive off. I would do them right there in front of his house in my car. And it was the same at my mom's house. I didn't want to get high. I didn't want to be smoking heroin in her bathroom.
That's so true.
So it was actually easy for me to get in the car and drive to your treatment center because I wanted to quit. I had been trying to quit on my own for about 3 years. And I gave it my all, and I couldn't do it alone. I could not do it without help.
I totally believe that, and I want to really invite you folks to believe your loved ones that when they say they don't want to get high, yet they go ahead and get high. But when at the time that they say they don't, they really mean it. Well, I cannot say all the time, but for most part they do mean that. He meant it, but he couldn't not do. How can you not get high when you're still in the midst of your disease and you have all the body aches and you're going through withdrawals? So I'm so glad. What really had you, I think, to come in? Yes, you were resigned to continue for a while, but your mom's progress in her own recovery.
Without a doubt.
Yeah, good that
Without a
you
doubt.
realized.
I saw the change in her. I saw that I couldn't use her anymore. I couldn't fool her into giving me money anymore.
There you go.
And she actually told me, I know you're going to die one day, son, and that's fine. I'll go to your funeral. I'll cry, and then after about a month, it'll be okay.
Wow.
And,
what a powerful thing to say to a son who's practicing addict. I hope you guys get that. The mother is telling the son that, I know you continue this, you're going to die, just like many others I'm sure she witnessed or she heard of. She knew about it, they died. But son, don't worry, if you do, I'll come to your funeral. Wow. That's very powerful for a mother to say that to a son. I really take my hat off for that mother. She must have worked a very good program. And you saw a change in her.
Absolutely.
Wasn't that attractive, the change you saw in her?
Absolutely. I couldn't believe it, honestly, and I didn't know it at the time. I didn't know at the time that triggered something inside of me to want to get my life together. I didn't know that. This is all hindsight now. And to add to what you said, using against your will,
Yes.
I had been to the doctor about a year before I got clean, and they told me, your kidneys are failing. And I said, I'm going to stop. This is it, no more. I'm going to die. And I still used against my will. And it was because, all the pills and everything else, alcohol, that's just not good for your body. I don't think.
Of course.
Yeah, I think we don't need to go to medical school to know that.
No, we don't. It's toxic, it's poison, all of it. Wow. I really congratulate your mom. And that's what we usually talk about, that parents or loved ones, the family member, whether it's addict's spouse, girlfriend, boyfriend, fiance, wife, husband, mother, father, brother, sister, best friends, whomever you are. For most part, you need to go in and get help first, just like Nima Jones' mother did. She went in and got well. She went in for 9 months to groups, 12-step meetings, and she kept on hearing other mothers, how they grow, how they went through their growing process, how they changed, transformed, how they were able to go tell their loved one, enough is enough. In Farsi we say, Mamare lulu burde. There's no more mame. You're done. I'm not going to, like you said, no more money. You're not going to be able to get anything off of me. And if you die, then it's bad, it's sad, and I come to your funeral. It takes a lot of transformation for a mother, especially Iranian mother, to say that to their son. But it's possible. And most of us addicts, alcoholics, like Nima and I, we need to hear that. We need to hear a parent saying, that's it, enough is enough, you're out, I cannot help you, I cannot give you money, I cannot give you nothing. If you go to jail, you're going in, you're not coming out by me, through me. If you die, I will come to your funeral. We need to hear that, folks. And your mother said that to you. Thank God. My mother was in Iran, and she couldn't come those days. And I ended up on the street for 9 months, and finally I just couldn't go. If my mom was here, I don't know if my mom would go to those meetings. So she wasn't here. God took my mom away so I can see the consequences of my actions.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's I think it was Gandhi who said, be the change you want to see in the world.
Mm-hmm, absolutely.
And that's what my mother did. She became the change that she wanted for me. And that's what really helped a lot.
Yeah, and you saw like your mom transfer someone and say, oh, Mom, what happened to you? How did you get there? What did you do? I want some of that. That looks pretty good. That looks good, Mom. I like it. So please, mothers, fathers, spouse, girlfriend, boyfriend, fiance, whomever you are, you do the work first. Do not wait for your loved one to one day and come and say, okay, I'm tired, I'm done, let's take me to treatment. Very, very seldom that may happen.
Can I say something on that?
Sure,
also,
please do.
And for the parents, I don't want you to think this is placing blame. It has nothing to do with blame. This has nothing to do with fault. Mm-hmm. Just leave that out of this. There's really no room in recovery for things like blame and fault. It just happens the way it happens, and we all need to recover. It's just the way it works. The quicker you can recover, your family can recover, your son or daughter can recover.
Absolutely, but like I said, you may have to be the one who takes the first step in the family and not wait for your addict, alcoholic, gambler, whomever they are, to do so. You take it on, chances are you create the pathway for them to walk into it. So, by the way, your tea is getting cold if you like to. Let me be a codependent, because I just felt like mine is getting cold. By the way, we're going to continue, but there's, I think, studio number, yeah, that's 297-8000 is the studio number. Please, if you have any experience yourself dealing with somebody who's suffering or dealt with someone in the past, be courageous enough, be brave enough, bring it on. Call the studio number, it's right on the screen, and let us know about what do you hear in here, how you relate to it, how you have done these things, or how your parents have done these things, or how you haven't, or they haven't, and how you wish this thing to turn around. Do you want to get well? Are you also struggling to somebody else to get well? Are you going around them and around like a merry-go-round, they call it? Or are you willing to hear us? Hear what Nima Jones' mother, Farzaneh Khanum Gol, I love that lady so much. She's an awesome lady, very powerful lady. What she had done, going all along, knowing that son is using, but going to her meeting, doing the steps, getting sponsored, really getting serious and transforming, and so she could be effective on her son's life.
Can I say something as far as effectiveness?
Of course, please do.
For Iranian families, Middle Eastern families, we love our children. We really do. Love doesn't fix this. It really doesn't. Don't think you can love your child. Just give them more love and they will recover. To be honest, if you give them too much love, if you baby the alcoholic, if you baby the drug addict, you will bury them, unfortunately. This disease, it doesn't really care about your love for your child, unfortunately. When I was in my, I think a couple of times, if I can even remember, my mom said, I love you a lot. She said, I love you all the time. During the period she didn't know I was getting high. I didn't care when she said, I love you.
So?
I didn't care when she said, I'm worried about you.
Yeah.
I said, do you have money or not?
You didn't even care when she was crying. She's depressed.
She's just bothering me.
Yeah, just give me the, bothering me. Can you take your tears somewhere else? Give me some money.
Absolutely.
And you go.
I didn't care. And that's just the disease of addiction. It's selfish, it's angry, and I just don't think you can
self-centered.
Absolutely.
So we're going to now go on to recovery, and I do invite you guys, please pick up the phone if you would, call us, ask any more question, or share some of your experiences with us if you would. Now, Niamajan, by the way, before the show is done, and I know I was going to tell you at the end of the show, but I throw it out right now as a possibility. I want you to support me more so. I know you're a very busy man in your recovery, but if you could come at least once a month, I would really appreciate that. And sometimes bring your friends, people you help, because this is English speaking show. Thank God, we could do that. Americans or Iranians, they were born and raised here like yourself, kind of, and they don't know how to speak Farsi. You're more than welcome to bring guests, someone you trust, someone, they have a good quality program.
Absolutely.
And really bring him down. And God knows, maybe after a few times, I'll step away. I'll step aside. And you do your own thing, because that's really how it's going to be. Eventually, I'm going to have to go away.
One day at a time.
One day at a time. Okay, I'm pushing it too much. All right. At least you will come more often, once in a while. I appreciate it.
I will.
All right.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
I will.
So, tell us a little bit of obstacles in treatment.
Recovery, treatment, I can wrap it up in 3 words, and then I'll expand on it. It's scary, it's difficult, and it's painful. To be successful at anything, though, you have to face some obstacles, and the reality is getting high is also scary, difficult, and painful, so it really doesn't matter. Obstacles, everything.
In our treatment, what did you go through when you came to our facility? All the things we told you to do.
Being able to listen and take you seriously. because when you're out there using and getting high, even something like the speed limit, you don't take it seriously.
Exactly.
Laws, rules, none
Doesn't
of them
matter.
mean anything. So
Yeah.
when you come to treatment and you tell me you have to be in bed by this time, put your shoes here, I laughed
You
inside. I
cannot
thought
wear
it was a
a
joke.
tank top. You have to wear.
Absolutely. You know, you can't sag your pants like a bum. You know, and you have to dress appropriately. You have to look like a human being. You have to shower every day. Imagine that. When we're out there using, we don't shower. We don't care about these things. We're filthy, dirty people. And that was a new way to live for me, honestly. And I remember that showering one time, and I thought, God, this is stupid. Why do I have to shower every day?
Yeah.
Today, I shower at least once a day, sometimes
Yeah.
twice.
Yeah.
And I don't care what I have to do. I'm taking a shower.
Good job. Good job.
It's a
Yeah, because you
very
want
normal.
Yeah, you want to feel clean and cleanse every day. Why not? And you have the time because you're not passed out on the couch or in the bathroom. You have time. You can 10 minutes take a shower.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, also just worrying. You know, you take away the drugs. The drugs numbed me for so long. When you took them away, I had all kinds of thoughts, opinions, and feelings that I didn't understand. I had all these ways of being that I thought were right. I was extremely arrogant, extremely opinionated, distrusting, and I had no idea. I remember one time, Siamak, we were talking, and you said, I'm picking up that you don't trust what I'm saying. And I said, no, I don't think so. That I don't think that's it. And you're like, so you don't trust that what I'm saying is right? And I'm like, I told you, no, I don't. And he said, see, that's what I'm trying to tell you. You don't trust anything I say. You don't believe anything. You only believe the thoughts that are in your own head.
Yeah.
And that's exactly how I was. I only believed in what my mind came up with.
Yeah.
And I was very, very sick.
Let me take you, now that you brought that up, because that's a very important issue. Lack of ability to trust. You know, how much I emphasize on that. Could you trust your dad?
No.
Yeah. Why?
He was an alcoholic.
Yeah. What happened? Tell us some of the things that didn't allow you to trust him, or you tried and you
Trust him?
Yeah.
Oh.
Or if you did
Is
and
this
then it
a
didn't come through.
8-hour program? Do I have time? I'll try to be very brief. First memory, he said he was going to buy me like a magazine subscription. I don't even remember what the magazine was for. He never bought it. And when I would ask him, he looked at me like he had no idea what I was talking about. When he would make any kind of promise or say something, he was probably drunk most of the time. And the few times he was sober, let's be honest, he was probably just thinking about his next drink.
Yeah, probably so.
So his son, me, was unfortunately kind of the last thing on his mind. Every time he said he would do something, stand up and deliver. He couldn't even pick me up from school on time, by the way. I waited after school for 4 or 5 hours at a time, and by the time I was older, I just left and went and I hung out with the street kids and got with them, and it escalated from there. But every time he promised to stand up and deliver and show up sober and talking in complete sentences and dressed appropriately, he couldn't do it. And I took that very personally for a long time. I made it mean that he didn't love me and that he hated me and things like that.
Would you say, would it be fair assessment to say that after a while you may even have a thought that I'm not lovable?
I did. I didn't know it at the time. I had no idea. And I think that has a lot to do with I had a very loving family. I have 2 aunts, 2 uncles, and my mom. I have little cousins that love me. You know, we all tell each other how much we love each other, go to Mehmooni, we hug each other, kiss each other. I thought they were all lying.
Wow.
I thought I thought it was just
because you're not worthy of
you say it
being
because
loved.
you're supposed to.
Yeah,
No
culture.
meaning. Yeah.
You said that I love you,
They go, I love you too.
but really,
I didn't believe a word of it.
I hope you folks get this. This is one of the most important effects of kids growing up in dysfunctional families, alcoholic families, families that are fights and so on. The father kept on promising, and as Nimajan articulated, he may not even be present as he's promising. Or if he was, then later on he was not present anymore. He forgets, and Nima had to remind Dad, like the magazine. Remember, you said you're gonna order. What magazine? What are you talking about? That completely forgotten because he didn't have so many brain cells left for him. So that happens once or twice. Dad says, "I'm gonna be there for you again." Yeah, make sure you be a good sport. I'll be there. And then dad is a pastor.
Thousand times these things happen. I stopped caring. I stopped remembering. It reached the point that he would say he's going to do something. I wasn't even listening.
Wow.
I didn't even care.
Yeah.
You're going to pick me up from school? Okay. So as soon as school was out, I left. That's if I even made it the whole day of school. Sometimes
you
I just left early. And he never even noticed because he never showed up. He didn't even know.
Yeah.
So.
You guys get that? And this broken promises, this carelessness way of treating your son, it happens so much that the son, as you said, he has his own life now. He has a family outside the family because inside, the one is completely drunk and making sense, and the other one is going around him trying to fix the problem. So that one is not available either, or argue. That's the mother. So what son, and then probably your sister had her own life. She probably detached, became the lost child. Usually happens a lot. And then what you did, found the family outside your own family. As you said, you didn't even wait for school to end, or you didn't wait for your dad to show up. You just went straight to the family you found out there, to the ones they cared for you, they accepted you, they said, "Hi, buddy," they hugged you, they shared with you, they joined, they spent time with you. They told you you're worthy of spending time with you.
Yeah.
Where your father couldn't do that.
Absolutely.
I hope you guys get that. You fathers who work so much and think you're a father, or God forbid you drink, or smoke, do anything, party, gamble. You're telling your son that eventually he ain't worth it for you to spend time with him. And then after a while, as you see how we got it, he would be left thinking that he's not worthy of anybody. He's not lovable. Why dad should spend time with him? He just goes out there, dad and mom, whatever, go get a family out there. Now those families, if they happen to do drugs, alcohol, whatever, bring it on. Whatever you do.
It's okay.
Yeah, as long as you accept me, as long as you think I'm some importance about, give some importance to me, some value to me. I am going to be there for you. I'll do whatever. I'll be your friend, and we'll be happy. And how many years of that took on? Like 15 years?
I used for 14 years. Maybe just one or two of those years was kind of innocently having fun with friends from school. And I still went to school and got good grades and kept up good appearances. And then after that, it was pretty ugly.
Very ugly, yeah. Very ugly. And he really means that it was pretty ugly. When I saw him, this guy was scary, with all due respect. I mean, he really was. Where are your tattoos? It's all hidden, inside.
I don't have any tattoos.
Oh, that was... I don't want to mention his name.
Okay.
Yeah, your half brother, your friend, was known as a tattoo guy. Yeah.
Right. No, I didn't have any tattoos, but I did have a beard. I hadn't shaved in God knows how long. I had hair I think down to about here. It was just curly and crazy, and clothes I hadn't washed in probably 6 months. And I thought I looked good, by the way. I really thought I looked good.
I love it.
I had no idea the world of delusion I lived in. It's like when I was, I think, 17, my mother tried to tell me my dad was an alcoholic. I'd never heard that word before, except in movies, so I thought I knew what it meant. And when she told me that, I kind of laughed. I thought she was overreacting. So he has a bottle of vodka in the freezer, leave him alone.
Yeah, why you call him alcoholic? Alcoholic is bad.
Exactly. I had no idea. I didn't know. And that's another thing it did for me. Having drugs around, for me, it wasn't a big deal because in my house there was always alcohol around. Every single day my dad would drink. Every now and then he would take about a week or two off from drinking. And instead of drinking, he would just be crazy. Angry.
Raging alcoholic, yeah.
Raging. But
so alcohol actually will calm him down, and then he can survive and be peaceful to some degree.
Absolutely.
Yeah, someone like that.
Absolutely.
Can we now move into the fruits, the products of your recovery?
Sure.
Well, the moment you start surrendering, what happened? You start surrendering in our program, by the way.
I remember we were talking, and we had the trust conversation 3 or 4 times, and I realized that you might be right. And I think it was the first time in my life I ever considered that someone else might be right except for myself. And I don't know how I tied this all together. I'm not a psychologist or anything, but I realized my dad at that point had passed away, by the way, from his alcoholism. And I had another friend that I loved dearly, and he had heart problems, and he passed away, and he was like a father figure to me. So when I came over here, I said, you know, this guy, Siamak, is trying to love me and care for me like those other two guys. He's probably going to die too, so I didn't trust you. And I told you that. You looked at me and you said, do I look like your dad? I'm not him. And for some reason, when you said, I'm not him, I got that. I got that.
And you gave me a chance.
It took me 4 months. Three months, I think, to get there. I was in really bad shape. But after that, once I was able to accept that, I think you had told me 100 times, Nima, I'm your advocate. I'm here to help you. Let me help you. But I had no idea what you were saying.
Yeah.
I didn't trust you. I didn't believe you. I was crazy.
I remember screaming at you in the group, like, let me in.
Yes.
You remember that?
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't understand. I didn't know how to let someone talk and listen to their advice and take it.
Yeah.
I
Let
didn't
someone
know how
in.
to
You couldn't trust
receive
anyone.
anything
Yeah.
but hatred and anger. That's the only thing I understood.
You know, if you cannot trust your own father, never ever, and every time you have tried, you gave him a chance, he broke your heart, he didn't come through, you wouldn't probably know what trust means.
I had no idea.
Yeah. What do you mean trust? You eat it? You dress it? You put it
The
on?
only trust I had is if I came up with money, I could turn that into drugs.
Thank you. Yeah, that you can trust.
That
Money
I
cash
knew.
in your hand, you can turn into drugs. But people telling you they're going to do something and you can trust them? What do you mean? You do it if you did it, you don't if you don't. What does trust mean? I said, you really, when you came in, you couldn't even for a minute think that I am there to help you. You're right, it took
I
4
had no
months.
idea.
That's the struggle I go through with kids that they're alcoholic because environment, the kids that are alcoholic addicts because one of the parents are. Those are the ones that really, I become their parents for a while. You know, they say, get out of here. Especially if I look like them too. If I'm also Iranian, they were Iranian, they're not going to trust me. You're right, I kept on saying, I am not your father. I haven't drank for 30 years or so. At that time, 29 years. I am really okay. You know, give me a chance. I never been around you when your father was doing all that.
Right,
to you.
right.
Remember?
You actually got sober the year I was born in, 1983.
I remember that.
Yeah.
You're 30 years.
I'm
30
30 years
plus.
old and you're 30 years sober.
Yeah. Oh my
So.
God. That's right. You know, boy. I remember saying that Nemo, when you were born, I said I better stop using.
I better prepare myself because this guy's coming.
This
Thank
guy's
God.
gonna come one day, and I have to help him. So I better stop using now. So I wait 30 years almost for you to show up.
I appreciate that. I because I don't think
Okay.
it would have worked any other way.
I love you, man.
I love you too.
so much, man.
Are we
That's
starting to run out of time?
No, we still got the 10 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to just talk about a few things real
Sure.
quick. You know, so you guys heard about what it was like. My life was a mess. The only things I knew how to do were get high, be angry, and get high, and not shower, and be dirty, and upset my mother, and I didn't really care about anyone. I can go on forever about how bad it was. It was terrible. I was homeless for a while. And I got to see Mac's house, and you heard about the struggle I went through there. It took me a while just to learn how to trust him. Most people, by the way, don't have that experience. Most people, in the first 10 or 15 days, are able to understand that. But I was a special kind of stupid when I got there. And by the time I had about 9 months, I was living on my own with one other guy that also went to see Mac's house. We have a house now together. It's 3 of us. A third guy, also from his program, and we live together now. I have a job now that I really enjoy. I talk to my mother. I love my mother. I remember when I was in one of your groups, you asked me, do you love your mom? And I just looked at you. I didn't understand the question. I didn't really know. Yeah. But today I can say I love my mom. I love my sister. I used to say I didn't have a sister, by the way, because I hated her so much. By the way, she didn't really do anything. I just had so much hatred inside of me. I had to just direct it and just share it with everybody.
Yeah.
And, you know, I took some action that I didn't believe in. I took suggestions I didn't believe in. Every fiber in my body, every thought in my brain said, this isn't going to work. It's stupid. What does he know? He doesn't know who I am. He doesn't know my struggle. I didn't have a shred of belief or hope. All I had in my head and in my heart was anger, hatred, and doubt. But I stayed. Many times I wanted to leave, but I stayed. Because there was nowhere for me to go. You know, where was I going to go and be homeless again? Go live with an ex-girlfriend that doesn't even like me, that we're not even dating. So I stayed, and things started to change. I remember when I had 38 days, I felt a feeling I hadn't felt in a long time. And it only lasted about 5 seconds. It was a smile. I smiled. There was no one around. And that was happiness.
Wow.
And it was the first time in a really long time I'd felt any other feeling except for like anger or being loaded. And I told someone that, and they said, you know what, Nima, one day that feeling might last all day.
Oh,
And
the happiness.
Today that feeling lasts all day. I don't have bad days today. I might have a bad moment. Something might happen to upset me. Maybe 5 or 10 minutes.
It passes.
And I move through it.
Yeah.
90% of what I use in my recovery I learned from you. I help other men get clean and recover these days. And
That's very good.
I almost apply everything I learned from you. The rest I learned from 12-step
Thank
meetings and their respective books, which are invaluable part of recovery.
Absolutely.
And the point I'm trying to make here is don't listen to yourself. You might know all kinds of things. I knew all kinds of things when I got here. I'd been to college. I'd worked for some of the biggest companies in the world. I made good money legally and illegally. I had a lot of friends. I dated beautiful women, and I was a smart guy. I went to a magnet school, and but I didn't know anything about recovery. I didn't know anything about getting sober. And it took this man to teach me that, and a few other people that really supported me there, and without them I could not have recovered. It's not something we can do alone. It's not something you could do if you're a mom or a dad with a kid, just with your family. You need outside help. Unfortunately, that's just the way it works, and the sooner we accept that, the sooner we can start to recover.
Absolutely.
As individuals and as a family.
And you have a sponsee, someone you hold in their hands, walking them through the recovery,
Yes.
working the steps. One right now, huh?
3.
No way.
Yes.
How can you handle 3 kids at the same time?
I will take more.
Wow, that's
I will
awesome.
not say no to anyone who asks me.
Are you
I'm
serious?
serious. That is what I live for.
Wow.
If I can help another person recover, for me I can. You know, the first meeting I ever went to, someone said, "Son, you don't have to get high today, even if you want to." I didn't understand what he said at the time. I thought he was stupid. And then he said, "Did you enjoy getting high?" I said, "Yeah, I love that feeling." He said, "One day, if you stick around this program and you listen to your counselor in your rehab and you do the things we tell you to, you'll feel just as good sober as you did when you were high." And I thought that doesn't even make sense. How am I going to feel good sober and feel better sober than I felt high? But that man was telling the truth. Today, I feel great sober.
awesome.
I don't get high today. The reason I don't get high is not because it's illegal or it'll break my mom's heart or maybe you'll be disappointed in me. I don't get high today because I feel so good on a daily basis as a result of your program and 12-step programs that if I get high, it might take away the good feeling I already have.
Yeah. I don't need to get high. I feel
It's
happy.
really that simple.
Yeah.
I really enjoy life today.
That's awesome.
There's nothing drugs have that I want.
Yeah. Well, if you're struggling with addiction and you've been watching our shows today, a few other times too, and for whatever reason you think because I'm an older man, 60 years old man, he probably cannot relate, he cannot help us, that's fine. This guy is half of my age, 30.
I'm that old, God.
Half of my age
It's
is
okay.
old. That's
okay.
cool.
It's okay.
That's
It's true.
insulting me. That means I'm dead then. If you said
No,
you're
no,
old,
you're-
half of my age you're old, you gave it. I
Just
get
kidding.
even with
I'm
you.
just kidding. I love you.
I love you too. Thank you. So 30 years, and he is really very charming 30 years old man. In many areas he's as energetic as a 20 years old man. And happy-go-lucky, excited about life, enthused about recovery. Call me, I'll pass on his number. Oh, you want to give your number?
I don't.
What is it?
If there's any addict out there who's suffering and you have any questions, you want to talk to me, you can call me. My phone number is 818-730-2214. I'll say it again. It's 818-730-2214. 2214. And if you can, call me before you get high. If you can, that would be a lot better. You can get high after we get off the phone if you really want to. I won't stop you from doing anything.
No,
Just try
that
to call me
option.
before you pick up your drugs.
If in case you, it's 818-730-2214. Matthew John, our engineer and director of the program, he wants to write it down so you folks have it in there. Oh yeah, there you go. He already did it. Thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, that's Nemo, N-E-M-A. Nemo John, that's the number. Actually, the number is on the screen right below Nemo John sitting. So call Nemo.
Yes, it is. That was quick.
Yeah, Nate is really sharp and fast. So call Nemo before you get high. Now, in case you couldn't help it, you got high, that's fine. Call him and ask him how to get help. And you don't have to come to our program, really. You can just talk to Nemo. He would at least take you to a 12-step meeting. A good 12-step your own. He's willing to even come and drive you. Would you do that, to come and take him? Go and take him?
If they're local,
yeah,
absolutely.
Local. Thank you. If it's local, if it's Orange County local, he would take you.
Even if they're not local,
We'll find
I will find a
go.
meeting for you. I'll give you all the information you need to get going on that. And if you're serious about it, you will get over there.
Yeah.
Even on your own if you have to. Sometimes we have to do that. But if you are close by, and I'm not working, because today, I'm sober and I'm lucky enough to be able to have a job and things like that. So if I'm available, absolutely, I don't mind that.
That's great. So please, please, please get help, either through me, through Nima, or elsewhere, through somebody. At least you can contact us. We'll give you the websites of 12-step meeting, websites are many treatment centers, websites are county facilities that you don't have to pay anything. Really, the real purpose of this show is carry the message to help you. You don't have to die from your addiction. It's not to have you to come to our treatment, really. I'm yet to get anybody from Salaam TV, which is okay. But I come here to give you the message to help you that, hey, let you know that there is help and how you can get help. We'll give you all the websites. We cannot do it over the show because of the certain respect we have for and the traditions that we have for a 12-step program. But we'll give it to you, give you the websites, phone numbers, and all that. And if you're local, Nima is willing to come and take you, if he's not working, of course, take you to a meeting. He's done that many times, I know. He calls me usually, says, Siamak, this is the case. Should I go pick him up? I go, yeah, why not? And he goes, I really appreciate you check many things with me. That tells me, well, somebody who never trusts anybody, you trust my judgment, you call me at least once a month, if not twice a month, and ask about circumstances in your life. That's awesome, and I'm honored to always be there, pick up the phone and answer you. Why not?
Thank you.
Sure. Thank you so much for being with us, Nima John.
Of course.
And please do once a month if you can come. I really appreciate that. And yeah, I'm not going to push it that you do your own show, but come with me, bring a friend, and then God knows what happens in future.
No problem.
All right, great. Thank you for being with us. And I want to thank your mom because she said, yes, why not? I love my son to go and carry the message. That's the kind of mother we want. And that wouldn't mind the son come here and let everybody know, yes, I was an addict, I was a practicing addict, I was suffering, but today I have about, 18 months clean and sober, and I'm a productive member of society. I'm an honorable Muslim, and I help any guy from any religious and any background, and that's what we are here for. Thank you so much for being with us, folks. Thanks, Salaam TV, for allowing me, giving me this time without anything in return, really. I really appreciate it. And all you guys, the engineers, Saeed, both Masouds and Mehdi Khan, who made it here and really helped us have the best show. Thank you, Mehdi John.
Thank you.
God bless you all. Take care. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Recovering from any addiction could be really considered as the hardest battle or struggle one can have in the whole entire life.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحیم. مدیریت و کارکنان شبکه سلام هیچ گونه مسئولیتی در قبال مطالب مطرح شده از طرف